of the Green Kitchen, a show that celebrates the link between nature, nutrition, and livelihood. I am Vibha Varshne, and I work on biodiversity and food at the Center for Science and Environment. We are launching this show on the International Day for Biological Diversity, and this marks the day when the Convention on Biological Diversity was signed. So the theme this year is be part of the plan. So from the Green Kitchen, we hope that we will give people ideas of how they can be part of the plan. For the first episode, we have a distinguished guest, Pushpesh Pant ji. And Pushpesh ji, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much.
Pushpesh ji is an academician and he's a food historian. And today he will be talking to us about turmeric, which is present in each and every kitchen in our country. So Pushpesh ji, tell us something about turmeric and how it is used, why it is so important.
I think it's so diverse. That is like biological diversity. Turmeric is probably has so many diversities incorporated into it. It has use in food. It has use in therapeutics. It has used in dyeing clothes, which is color. It has a fragrance. Some people love it. It's called Indian saffron, poor man's saffron also. I would say it's the richest, not poor man's saffron. It stands up to saffron on its own. And I'm so glad that you are starting the program with turmeric, because turmeric in India is omen for all the good beginnings, anything auspicious. Agar shadi ho rahi hai, so the bridegroom and the bride are in their respective houses before the marriage take place. Given the haldi ka snan, they are given an uptan. They are anointed with haldi turmeric paste, and then they are given a bath. Before that, the invitation goes for the marriage, and it is with few grains of yellow rice. When the phrase is "ladki ke haath peele karna." I mean, of course, nobody says ladki ke haath peela karna. So these gender-biased days, one should be careful. But the poor man also is given a haldi paste, so it is equal. Then you have, I remember from my childhood in hills, shadi ke pehle there is a process called pichode rangna. So the only dye used for that is haldi. So you have a long sheet, white sheet, you color it, dip it in haldi tainted water. It is not a very fast dye, but it is. It is like the Buddhist robes. They also use turmeric for dyeing the clothes. So ये मुझे लगता है कि haldi has a very interesting role to play in our lives. And it, of course, every kitchen, the spice box, it is inevitably there. Why is it there? And as we talk, we'll probably find out more, because haldi is called Haridra. Haridra associates its connection with Hari, the god, or it's called Surya Shri. It is called Primagni. It kills, it's a vermicidal. It is Sukhada. It is Ruchikar. So all the names in Amarkosh, more than 40 odd synonyms for haldi, tell us these qualities, and the qualities are manifold.
So you mentioned health benefits, and what are these health benefits?
These health benefits in our traditional knowledge systems, before they were validated in vitro in labs, were always there. I recall a chot patak lag jaya kahin, you break a bone. So you were given haldi as a mender for broken bones in one form or the other. If you had I was brought up in a very cold place, 8,000 feet in Nainital, a small town called Mukteshwar. So if you are susceptible to colds and coughs, you are given haldi in milk as a prophylactic, also as much as a relief also. So there was this, and there was long years ago, herbal toothpaste came. And one discovered that besides long and neem and babool, haldi was a very important part of that. So haldi was time-tested home remedy. But then when the multinationals came, they decided to give it a test. They realized that all of that was validated. And that's where the problem started, because they wanted to appropriate the intellectual property rights, which belong to epistemological communities. They wanted to, if possible, synthesize this. But if you could not synthesize this, you could possibly appropriate all that haldi had, all the qualities. And that is where I think the trouble started. And Government of India, thanks to its alertness, fought the two successful battles they did, were basmati and turmeric. And I think it's very good, because it is antifungal, it is microbial, and it has been tested that it retards the growth of skin tumors. You go over to the scientific literature, and you find out that the claims which our ancestors made were not in vacuum.
So, are there different varieties of turmeric that are available in India?
Again, I think India is the largest producer and exporter of turmeric. 80% of the total world's production, I think, takes place in India, if memory serves me right. The names which you get in compendiums of Ayurveda, like Bhaprakash Nigantu, are four main varieties. There is Haridra, there is Van Haridra, there is Karpur Haridra, and there is Daru Haridra. Now, Daru Haridra is, let's keep apart, Daru Haridra is something which grows on the bark of the tree and has probably similar properties. But one haridar is foraged from the forest, and Karpur haridar has a fragrance like, camphor. And then you have, besides Karpur haridar and haridar, you have one haridar. So the interesting part is this, that you go to Maharashtra, and they also have a turmeric, which is not distilled in Bhaprakash, which is called Amra haridar, which has a fragrance and flavor like a mango. So if you go over the 80 synonyms, each one of them indicates that this haldi is a little different, and that is what the biodiversity magic is all about. A country like India has vast diversity, geographical and macroclimatic, and the haldi growing in different regions has a different property, not only flavor, but maybe a therapeutic.
So all these varieties of haldi, they were used in cuisines at home. People
Of course they were. I mean, of course they did. Obviously, nobody was going to have a branded masala, which is in trouble at the moment, pre-packaged all over the world. So you used haldi, which grew in your areas. Now, I was with a BBC program once, trading the spice route, and we shot haldi in Nagaland. And they used a machete and chopped rhizomes from there and brought it. They would eat that, obviously. They would sun dry it in Egypt. My son has a small patch of land in Uttarakhand now, very small. He loves it, and he grows organic haldi there. And the story is weird because the land was left fallow for more than 4 years because the leopard lifted some kids in the village. And my son, who didn't like it, that the villagers had given up, so he said, we'll grow something organic here. And we realized that haldi and ginger, turmeric and ginger were the only two things which the wild boars and monkeys would not eat. So they started doing it there. But then it comes to, you use haldi which is grown in the neighborhood. And you are not particularly bothered at the moment in the villages about organic haldi of the purity which European Union will accept. Or you are not going to be worried about the purity of the haldi which Israeli soldiers, not very popular at the moment, have as capsule form as a superfood. So people discover that, oh, haldi is great. So how do you consume it? Not only as a pinch of spice, you are not an Indian. So yellow curries are all right in Thailand, but not in Europe. But they would like to have turmeric latte. So you would suddenly have, there is a spa very close to Kurukshetra, where they give you a lovely tea made of ginger and turmeric together, a lovely golden stream. So when people decided that, and also why do we forget that you can't consume a butter which looks insipid as white? So whether it's a European butter or a cheese or certain medicines, turmeric goes as an essential natural coloring agent there, because even the US FDA recognizes it as such. But to answer your question precisely, the diversity of turmeric all across this land prioritizes the turmeric which is grown in the neighborhood.
So what I would like to know, like black haldi. So that's also part of cuisine? Like, do people use that?
जहाँ वो grow करती है, वहाँ नहीं. But we are so used to the yellowness of like my kurta. If you have a yellow associated with haldi, you would not use the non-yellow haldi in your cuisine unless you are in a forest area, a tribal community where you are using that.
So are there new entrepreneurs who are coming up in this business? Like you talked about the golden latte and
lots of people.
What kind of products are they making?
Actually, it's a difficult question to answer. I've had some very nice turmeric processed powdered, and we make our tea with that at home. We make turmeric latte क्या है ना, आखिर में जो दूध वाला हल्दी वाला दूध था वो काढ़ा वही है, उसके बदले आपने उसमें जिंजर का स्टीम रखा है, milk you have avoided. So I think some are good, but most are claiming to ride piggyback on the superfood thing and say यूरोप में हो रहा है, इसलिए नहीं खा रहे तो हमको भी खाना चाहिए. I'll tell you, a friend of mine who comes from Jodhpur. In winter season, treated me to haldi की सब्जी, जिसकी तासीर गर्म होती है, बहुत मजे की थी. I also remember eating a haldi का मुरब्बा. I remember eating a haldi का अचार. So there were ट्रेडिशनल रेसिपीज कि आप अचार तो पेट भर के नहीं खाएंगे, मगर उसकी मेडिसिनल प्रॉपर्टीज हैं. आप मुरब्बा पेट भर के नहीं खाएंगे, उसकी भी मेडिसिनल प्रॉपर्टीज हैं. बट अगर आपको खांसी हो रही है तो आप थोड़ा सा उसका स्लाइस करेंगे एंड विल एंजॉय.
Like, is it being grown outside? Like, do we export it more outside or like?
That's a difficult question to answer. We grow 80% of the total production of turmeric all over the world. We is one of our largest exports, spice exports. But how much is consumed in India is like asking the unanswerable question of kitne samosa khate hain. Wherever you go, you see a tray in a small town, big town, railway station, street corner. But I suppose most of it is consumed in India.
So what would you suggest to people? How should they consume? Should they first of all consume more haldi in their daily diet? And how should they consume?
I would say go by the rule of the thumb is that जैसे आपके घर में हल्दी इस्तेमाल होती थी, you stay with that. You don't add haldi, because if you add more haldi in a traditional Indian recipe like dal, तो उसका जायका खराब हो जाएगा, उसका कलर भी उतना प्लेजेंट नहीं रहेगा. So you would have to stay with, like, if a non-vegetarian person is eating, it is traditional to have a haldi ka lep on the machli and then wash it and then cook it. And haldi goes into the curry as well. But the same thing is the besar का जो मसाला उड़ीसा में होता है, कहीं होता है, वो मस्टर्ड वाला होता है और उसके साथ भी हल्दी आती है. तो अगर आपको पता है कि हल्दी खाने में जा रही है and it is not hurting me, it is doing good to me, you don't have to follow the westerners and say, but nobody would be hurt by having दूध में हल्दी मिला के आप पी रहे हैं तो बहुत अच्छा है. अगर आप हल्दी के टर्मरिक की चाय बना के पी रहे हैं अपने घर में तो, बट आई वुड नॉट प्लग अ ब्रांडेड जिसमें वैल्यू एडिशन है.
आप कैप्सूल नहीं कहेंगे कि हम लोग भी कैप्सूल खा लें.
नहीं, मैं कैप्सूल से बदतर तो ये है कि किसी ने कहा कि यू टेक दीस टी बैग्स, दे आर टर्मरिक टी बैग्स, एंड यू सी द वे द टर्मरिक टी बैग्स, इफ दे वर रियली बीइंग मेड इन कॉटेज इंडस्ट्री स्टाइल, इन जो कुटीर उद्योग होता था, I would have no problems. But if you have a very fancy tea bag which blossoms out like a lotus inside your cup, and it has a staple somewhere, and is packed with a great design in a box, so that cost is not value addition for the customer, is not value addition for the grower either. So you source haldi, which is the cheapest, and then the capitalism takes over. Then you have packaging, marketing, branding, but the poor man who's growing it doesn't get. Similarly, you don't get the benefits which haldi promises, because is always over promising, under delivery.
Sir, so how would you can you share a recipe, your favorite recipe on how people can add more haldi?
नहीं, मुझे लगता है कि हल्दी आप जब कच्ची हल्दी होती है, उसे आप कोर लें. Don't wait for drying it, and at that stage you make haldi pickle, and you make haldi murabba at home with a little honey, natural sweeteners, and use it. In winters में आप हनी टर्मरिक मुरब्बा खाएंगे, प्रिजर्व खाएंगे, और गर्मियों में आप हनी पिकल का एक स्लाइस एपेटाइजर के रूप में खाएंगे. एंड थ्रू आउट द ईयर यू वुड से आई विल नॉट ड्रिंक टी विद tannin and caffeine and so on. I would switch from a coffee drink to a hot or cold stream of beverage which is turmeric based, which is used again not more than a large pinch of turmeric. So it is not going to hurt you at all. And also the in vitro lab, I mean, when I was trying to find out claims, it is no toxicity. So if you accidentally eat a little more haldi than is required, if it is aesthetically fine, you don't have it.
Actually, it has a limiting taste. It will taste very bitter, and it won't
then you will not
good.
eat it.
So nobody is going to eat too much more of it. What I wanted to know is, supposing we use half a spoon of
half a spoon for a single person would be too much, because you will see half a spoon would be enough for a family's dal, to which 4 people would share perhaps. So
it should be less than that. So
no,
basically normal food.
It is up to if you like it. Some people like bitter chocolate, some people like dark black coffee, some people like cold press, some people like black tea as well. So I would like to say there's a pinch of haldi you add to everything. You add a pinch of haldi to your beverage, to your milk. Maybe you can even think of doing a desi murabba, which has a viscosity of a jam. उसको टोस्ट पे लगा के खा लीजिए, पराठे में रैप करके खा लीजिए. Add a little more कि अगर आपने पनीर का टिक्का बनाना है, पनीर की भुजिया बनानी है, add a little healthy.
This is all very interesting and it sounds so tasty. And I hope our viewers will follow a lot of your recipes that you have shared during our talk. And thank you, viewers. And like, I would request you all to also share your recipes on turmeric or anything local that grows around you with us. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much.
Bolo.